The garage has become an extension of the living space for many of us.
You can make your garage more than a place to hang your hammer with a few tweaks.
Next on PowerHouse, if you have an attached garage, the first line of defense against the outside is your garage door.
Is it insulated? Does it have a good seal? We'll show you ways to improve your garage door.
You may be ready for an electric vehicle, but is your garage? See how an electric vehicle charger can speed up your charging time and keep you safe.
And whether you like to work or just hang out in your garage, you'll want to stay comfortable. Learn about the options available.
All this and more next on PowerHouse.
When you think about how you manage the temperature of your home, you usually don't think about your garage, but it can have a big impact on how you heat and cool your home. Meet Scott Wintermark. You could say he makes his living in the garage. He's been in the garage door industry for over 20 years. Scott, a lot of homeowners probably don't think about the importance of the garage in terms of the temperature with their home. Talk to us a little bit about that.
The door is a barrier between the outside and the inside of the garage.
And when it comes to selecting garage doors, where do you start with that conversation with the homeowner?
Well, first we'd look at what style design you'd like, and then if it's attached to the house, not attached to the house, do you want insulated or non-insulated door? And when you go to insulated, then we'd figure out if you want R6, R12, or R17. This is a basic door, no insulation, just basically a cover from the outside elements.
All right.
Then you're going to jump to this polystyrene door, which is just a styrofoam door, not into any of the cavities of the panel. You're just at an R6, and it's just a basic uninsulated door with a little protection in it.
Okay, so I want to work out my garage a little bit, and I want to have some manageable temperature. I'm moving up to this.
Yep, you're gonna jump to the R12 door, which is steel front, steel back, urethane insulated, which is sprayed in, hot mold injected. The panels stick to it. You get a lot more strength. And then it's just a matter of if you want to stay with that or if you want to jump up to this R17. Hot mold injected 2 inches thick, where you're at 1 3/8 inches thick there. You get some thermal breaks in between the sections, and then it literally just expands and you have no gaps.
Okay, walk us through a little bit when you say thermal breaks.
The thermal break is a seal that you get between the sections so wind and air can't blow through there.
Okay.
And then matched up with your side seals, you have no holes.
Okay. Now, if I want to use my garage, I have a workshop out there, is this sort of the basic minimum? You said an R12 here?
Yeah, you'd start at R12, steel front, steel back. That would give you, with your seals and everything, it would give you a great working environment in the garage if you're running a heater.
In terms of the temperature?
You got to remember, some of it is if you're opening and closing the door a lot during the day, you don't need the higher R value, just because when you open that door, it's leaving, depending on your heat source.
And installation, can they go on any garage? Can these doors go on any garage, or are there limitations?
No, they can go on any garage. It's just, whatever size they are, shape, and they all got to be square.
Okay. Installing, what else do I have to keep in mind? Seals, or what about that?
Your seals, some places have the old wood seal. A lot of that we're taking off, and then we put the new vinyl seal on.
And from the very basic through the R12 to the 17, talk a little bit about cost.
Generally, your cost from upgrade from non-insulated to like higher insulated, you're going to be about $400 and $600.
Okay, when $400, $600 above an average, or?
Average cost of the door.
Okay. What else do we need to think about when we're installing a garage door?
You want to make sure your seals are good. Your perimeter seals with the bottom seal and the side seals, you can get a pretty good seal on it, and you just put the whole package together.
And we can take a look at that over here?
Absolutely.
Scott, when we talk about the seals, what are you referring to?
The weather seals around the door, everything that's touching it, and just keeping it sealed, keeping the weather from getting in.
Okay, and that's all the way around and the bottom as well. How long should the seals last on a garage door?
Typically they go about 7 years, depending on if the kids don't hit them with a bicycle, you don't run a car mirror through them, just as long as you're not hitting them with stuff.
And they can become brittle and just break off?
They can, or they're just nailed on, so you can pull them off.
Okay.
If you strike them.
The bottom seal, what are we looking at there? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's just the rubber seal that comes in contact with the ground, and it can shrink, and it will shrink over time, and then you can replace just the seal. And when it does shrink, it's time to probably get a service call and change your seals out.
Okay, when you come out, you put the garage door down, and then what? You're looking for light around the garage door, is that it?
Yeah, anywhere there's visible light from the inside when it's dark, and sometimes you can see it when the lights are on even, but you'll get cracks and chunks missing out of this stuff, and it's typical. It's wear and tear.
Yeah, and the seals after time can get just brittle and break?
Yep, it depends on if the sun's hitting on them or how much heat and cold you're susceptible to.
And the upper Midwest, I mean, there's all sorts of weather that's impacting, and I know salt can have impact on the seal and on your garage door, right?
Yep, and a lot of times you'll see it where the cars are driving in and dropping salt from where you brought it down the road. Or if you're throwing salt right up next to it, you'll get a rusty bottom panel.
And you mentioned, though, that rodents can impact that bottom seal, right?
Yeah, more of the rural areas, little rodents will chew away at it and try to work into where there's a warmer environment, especially in the winter.
Okay, so I'm looking at my seals, and again, maybe it's been a while, and I have you come out, service call first to check that out?
Yeah, and typically we do a service call, and they'll go through the rollers, all the seals, the cables, and get everything all serviced and lubed up, adjust anything, make it more tight so everything does seal.
Okay. Now I've decided I'm going to go ahead and get a door. Let's talk a little bit about non-insulated door cost versus an insulated door cost.
Typically, an uninsulated door, you're starting around that $600 range, and insulated for single door, and you're going up to that $900 to $1,000.
Okay, but you can really, again, with a good insulated door, you can turn that garage into that workshop or a little hobby room or something like that, right?
With a good set of seals and insulated door, you're going to be able to have it at a decent temperature and not have a lot of loss out of there.
You bet. And again, we can have another room for our house, again, keeping that temperature under control. Scott, thanks for sharing that information about garage doors. And if you'd like more information about insulation and how it can keep your home warmer in the winter and cool in the summer, visit our website at PowerHouseTV.com.
Now, once you've installed your insulated garage door, the next step might be to install a heating and cooling system to make your garage more comfortable and an additional living space for your home. Meet Tom Rutkowski. He's helped homeowners find the best way to heat and cool their homes, and that includes garages with equipment from furnaces to mini splits. So, Tom, are you seeing more and more people wanting to heat and cool their garage?
Absolutely. As people are looking for more space to expand into, the garage is the next best option as compared to putting an addition on their home.
What can help people decide if they should take that leap and heat and cool their garage?
Sure, a lot of it's going to depend on what they want to do with the space. If they're going to be using it for a living space, a man cave, for their cars, tools, motorcycles, etc. And then figuring out, once they know what that use is going to be, how we can design the best system to meet their needs.
Can you tell us about the specific equipment that you've installed in the past?
Sure, we've installed everything from hanging heaters to furnace and airs to mini splits and even geothermal systems.
And what are the basic differences between each of those types of equipment?
Sure, so a hanging heater would be for somebody that would want to keep it cold unless they're in there working. They can come in, fire it up, and it'll heat it up really quick. On the furnace side, there's two types of furnaces. You have your 80% models that do not have a condensate, and it'd be similar to using it for a hanging heater. And then you have high efficient models that you get up near 95, 96, even 98% efficient furnaces. But because they have a condensate, the garage would need to be kept about 40 to 50 degrees at the lowest year round. Otherwise, that condensate has a chance to freeze. And then on the mini splits, that would be for somebody that would want to keep it a fairly common temperature throughout the year. They do have the ability to heat and cool, but it's not going to be a rapid heat or rapid cool. So it's the idea of keeping it at that one temperature.
Right, consistent.
Yeah, and then geothermal is fairly similar. It does have the ability to ramp up quick if it needs it, It's going to be the most efficient, but it does have a little more upfront cost.
I want to go back and talk about ductless mini splits, which you talked about there. Can you explain to us how that works?
Sure, it's very similar to what you'd see with an air conditioner, except there is no ductwork that is attached to it. You have an indoor unit that would hang on the wall, and then an outdoor unit, and then it's all about moving the heat. So in cooling mode, you're going to take the heat from inside the space and reject it outside. In heating mode, they're going to capture the heat from outside and bring it into the indoor space.
Okay, well, considering that exchange, we had a really cold winter this year. Does that affect how that operates?
It does, and depending on what model you put in, it'll affect it differently. Some models are good down to 15 degrees. A lot of models are good down to like that minus 15, minus 20, and there are some that go down as low as minus 40. Obviously, the more it can do, the more expensive it's going to be.
Okay, so it does have some limitations.
It does, and that's something you do want to keep in mind when you're looking at what you want to use that space for, because at some point, you won't have that ability to heat that space.
All right, can you talk a little bit about the cost to retrofit an existing garage with a heating and cooling system, and maybe break it down a little bit? So what would be considered a traditional system, and then let's focus on that mini split again.
Sure, so with a hanging heater, you're probably in like the 3,000 to 5,000 range. For a furnace and air, you're going to be looking somewhere in the 5,000 to 10,000 range, depending on how much ductwork we want to put on there. We can go as small as just putting a plenum with a few feet of ductwork, or getting up into an attic space above the garage and running a full ductwork system like you'd see in a house. With the mini split, depending on how many heads you have on your indoor side, you're anywhere from 4,000 to 12,000. And then with the Geo system, you're probably in the 14 to 25 range up front, but there would be tax credits available for that.
Right. So Tom, is it possible for people to take their heating and cooling system from their home and tie it into their garage?
It depends on the system. If you have a geothermal system, we could run lines off of your loop field to a dedicated unit in the garage. With a mini split, same idea, we can run refrigerant lines to a dedicated indoor unit. However, with a ducted system, you don't want to just throw a heat run into your garage. Most local codes won't allow for that, because there is a chance that carbon monoxide can make its way back up through that heat run and then get into your home.
Great, thanks, this is good information.
No problem.
If you'd like more information about the specific systems you can use to heat and cool your garage, visit our website at powerhousetv.com.
Welcome back. We've all left our garage door open before, right? We'd like to make sure we're safe, and we also want to know we're not wasting energy and money. So wouldn't it be great to have peace of mind to know that we can close and open our garage door from our cell phone? That's a reality now. Join us is Holden Merritt with Overhead Door, and tell us about the system now and how we can use an app to open and close our garage doors.
Yeah, a lot of new motors on the market. A lot of them have Wi-Fi capabilities. If you have Wi-Fi in your house, download a simple app and you'll be able to run and monitor your door from anywhere.
Okay, but maybe I'm not ready for a brand new overhead door system, but I can retrofit this?
Yep, we do carry options here. This is one of them. You can control up to 3 doors.
Now this is what, a hub sensor?
Yep, this is the main hub, and each door would have a separate sensor to control whether it's open or closed.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. And I see, Holden, there's one right up here by the system here, and it's got to be close enough and be able to plug into electricity.
Yep, run a wire to each door, and then plug it in, and then you'd have your door sensor to mount on the door.
And then I can see the sensor over here on the garage door.
Yep, when it's vertical like this, it means the door's closed. When it's horizontal, it means the door's open.
Okay, and then I know you've got an iPad, but any smartphone can operate that?
Yep, any smart device can run this. Download the app, and this is our showroom door. It's saying it's closed right now. We can tap to open it.
How about safety?
We'll make a loud noise telling everyone to get out of the way.
We hear it's going to open here in a second, right?
Yep.
And sensors at the bottom?
Yep. If those aren't there, this will still close. So you kind of want to make sure those are on there just for another precaution.
Okay, and the garage door is opening. There's 3 buttons on here, so I could have up to 3?
Yep, you could have up to 3 doors on that one hub. This app will let you control countless ones, but you just have to have a couple other hubs.
Okay, so the garage door is open. I've gone off to work and Will it alert me that the garage door is open?
Yep, you can set rules for each specific door. If you want to do a certain duration time, you can select that, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. It can notify you that it's open, or you can actually set it to close at that time.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about cost. What are we looking at here?
Okay, the hub and one sensor is $130. Each additional sensor is $30. If you are handy, you can install it at home. Might take you a couple hours, but there's good instructions on the app how to do it. We do offer to do it. It'll take us about an hour. If you want us to install it, it's about $100 for the service call.
Okay, all right, so that is one, again, if you're handy, you can do it yourself, but might leave it to the professionals to do it.
Correct, yes.
Okay, Holden, this is very cool, and again, I like it that it can alert me that my garage door is open.
Yeah, it's fantastic stuff that they keep coming out
Holden,
with.
thanks for the information.
Yep, thank you.
Electric vehicle sales are expected to account for 60 to 75% of total new vehicle sales by the year 2050. So if you're one of those people that's considering hopping into an electric vehicle, you might consider getting a charging station for your garage. Meet John Henneke. John installs specially designed car charging stations that can charge an electric vehicle faster than a traditional outlet. So John, how does an electric vehicle get its charge?
Great question, Megan. All electric vehicles have built-in chargers right in the vehicles themselves. So you can take that, plug it into the charging port on the vehicle, and plug it into any standard 15 amp 120 volt outlet. And that will adequately charge the vehicle from 0 voltage to a full battery in about 18 hours.
Wow, 18 hours seems like a long time.
That is a long time. That's what we call level 1 charging. Now the other option is a level 2 charger, and that's what we're installing today for this homeowner.
Tell us about level 2 chargers.
Level 2 charging is the most common electric vehicle charger you'll see on the road today. You find them in shopping malls, office buildings, public libraries, so they're becoming very common.
And they charge faster?
They charge much faster. Basically, a level 2 charger takes 240 volts electricity and delivers that to the vehicle's charging system, so it can do it in a more efficient, faster manner.
240 volts, what does that equate to?
That's like your typical electric dryer or electric range in your home.
Okay.
Typically, the homeowner's not going to need to charge his vehicle from 0 dead battery to fully charged every time. Mostly, it's going to be about a 4 to 5 hour charge. And that's going to be comparable to roasting your Thanksgiving Day turkey.
Okay. So there's not continuous energy flow.
The power will not come out of the charge plug until it's safely installed in the vehicle's charging port. At that point, electronics in the vehicle and the charging station will communicate and tell the charging station to allow electricity to flow into the charger.
It looks like a simple unit. Is there much maintenance required?
Very little maintenance on a level 2 charging system. The one thing you want to do is just make sure you keep the plug clean so that no bugs, dirt get in that, because you want a nice, efficient, clean connection to the vehicle.
So why don't you walk us through the process of an installation?
Okay, the first thing we do when we install a level 2 charger in a home is we're going to go and assess the homeowner's electrical system. We want to make sure that he has an adequate electrical panel, a large enough service to handle the new appliance that basically we're going to install. And then we want to make sure he has enough breaker space in that electrical panel.
Okay. Did you have to do anything special?
This was a unique installation. Although the homeowner did have adequate service size and adequate breaker space, we had no real efficient path to get the electrical circuit from that panel to the charging station location. So we had to take a couple extra steps here. We actually had to penetrate the exterior wall, trench around the outside of the home, install electrical conduit underground, and then pull the circuit from the electrical panel to the charging station location.
So after all of the equipment's installed, then what happens?
Once the electricians have finished installing the electric vehicle charging station, they're going to turn the circuit breaker on, then they're going to come out here and test to make sure the charging station's putting out the right voltage.
Okay. Now you said that this was kind of an exceptional situation, but what is a ballpark cost to install
a charging station?
That's a great question. A typical installation is probably going to run the homeowner anywhere from $800 to $1,000, not including the cost of the charger. Level 2 chargers typically run between $300 and $1,000. This homeowner purchased a charging station that costs about $600 because of the special features and benefits that it has. It's larger than he actually needs to charge the vehicle that he purchased, but he's planning for the future. So this will have a larger charging output if he purchases a vehicle that has a better charging system and a larger battery.
Well, it looks like everything is pointing toward electric vehicles just gaining in popularity as time goes on, and the features are remarkable that they're offering as well, right?
Correct, yeah, this level 2 charger actually is Wi-Fi enabled. So he can download an app on his phone or on his PC. He can monitor how the vehicle's charging. He can actually schedule when it's charged, so he can charge it during Alliant's off-peak hours. That'll help him save energy on it. And also it'll keep track of the kilowatt hours that he uses to charge his vehicle, so he knows exactly what this vehicle's costing him.
Well, thanks, John. I appreciate it. Great information.
Thanks, Megan.
Alliant Energy offers rebates for electric car charging stations. So if you'd like to learn more, go to alliantenergy.com/EV.
You know, Megan, I might spend some more time in my garage this weekend.
Well, we learned a lot today, especially about insulated garage doors and how they can help control the temperature inside your garage.
The way mini split heat pumps can use the surrounding air temperature to create heat or cold air is really a benefit for places like a garage.
And never worry if you left your garage door open again. You don't have to have a new opener to take advantage of garage door apps. The unit we learned about today could be retrofitted on older garage doors.
Electric vehicles are growing in popularity. We installed a charging unit in a garage and learned there are real savings with an electric vehicle. It's about half the cost to operate an electric vehicle compared to a gas-powered vehicle.
There are a lot of things you can do to your garage to help you save energy.
And that can help make your house a powerhouse.